Hello my guys, this is your boy Kaka Jonito USA and welcome to this casting today. And guys, today I'm here to answer one question that was asked by one gentleman, and this gentleman asked me why does it take so long for the immigrants who have come to USA to come back home? Why does it take so long before they come back home? And now I want to dig deep to this matter, and I know there will be some stones that will be thrown at me, and some people will say, oh, he's telling us not to go, he's trying to put fear in us, and he's trying to, people will say a lot of things. But the truth be told, I want to tell you the truth, and if the truth, that's what you are seeking for, then get this truth and get to know how it goes in America. So once you come here in America, there's some things that like for instance, you are being told to look for a host even before you went to the interview. The reason as to why you were told to look for a host before you came to the interview, somebody to host you, somebody to take care of you before you start working on yourself, before you become stable. It is because you needed somebody who will lead you and who will guide you on how to do things until you are able now to be stable, like to start working on your own and having your own apartment or renting your own apartment and going to your workplaces, going back and forth. So the reason as to why you needed this host is so that they can guide you, so that they can help you, and in the meantime they can be able to host you, give a place to stay, and feed you for the time being before you stabilize. So those people who were asking why do you need to have a host, that's one reason you need to have a host. So when you come here in America, just know one thing. Before you even start working in America, you need papers, and these papers, when I'm talking about papers, you need to have an identification card, and you also need to have a social security number. That is the most important thing. You cannot be able to work in America in a legal manner, or what you can say, you cannot be able to work in America in organizations if you don't have those papers, because those papers are the documentations are needed. Because here in America, even for you to get to have a bank account, you need your papers, and most, when I say your papers, you need your social security number. That is a must. And then you need your identification card. So your identification card can be your green card or can be your DL. But mostly here they mostly use the DL. But before you get your DL, you can use your green card and your social security number. So without the social security number, you cannot do a lot of things. So that's why you need a host to host you until you get your papers. Now, the process of getting the papers, again, is another thing, because when you come to America, once you give out your yellow paper there, that is, I'm talking about the green card holders. Once you give your yellow paper at the port of entry, that's when now they start processing your green card, and they start processing also your social security number. I know many people will say, maybe I paid my green card while I was in my country, back in Africa or back in wherever country you are in. But once you enter the port of entry, that's when they register that now this guy has arrived. So that's when they start processing your documents. All right, so that's when they start processing your documents. So once you give out your yellow paper at the port of entry, they start processing your documents, and mostly let me give an average, between 1 month you'll have gotten your papers. Now when you get your papers, just remember this 1 month you've been in-house. So imagine you didn't have a host. Imagine you just thought maybe I'll come within 1 week and I start working. No, it doesn't work like that. And I know there are people will be saying, oh, there are jobs you can do without papers. I know there are, but not in every place, not in every state. And also remember, these kind of jobs, what they do, they give you below minimum wage. So for instance, if that job you're supposed to be given like $20, what they do, they can give you like $14, and you work for that job because you don't have papers, and because you just need money, you'll just work. So they'll be taking out the money from you. So that's how they do, and most of these jobs, like for instance, a job that you can do, such a job is a job like CNA. These are caregivers. So you see, and not everybody can do caregiving. It's not for every person. So, and again, it's not a guarantee, and it's not the only thing that you can get to do without papers. So one thing I'll say is, ensure, just know that without papers you can suffer, and you will suffer, because it's not easy. Without papers, definitely you will suffer. And I have to tell you that point blank. I know people will throw stones, but I'm okay with you throwing the stones, but just let me tell you the truth. And these are the things that people don't get to be to tell people about. They usually tell them the things that they will make them happy. Or America is full of money, or America is full of opportunities. Yes, but tell them how they get these opportunities, because there are some things that you cannot do without papers, so now you have got taken 1 month to receive your documentation. That is your social and your green card. Now you have at least documentations. Now you can process to the next level. Now, this is where now you have to start looking for a job. You have to start, getting familiar with America and doing everything. Because in America, you also have to have your bank account. Before you even go to look for a job, you need to have set your bank account. You need to have an account already. And also after that, maybe you go and do your driving process and get the driving license, because these are some of the things that you'll need. Because here in America, most of the people in America are driving their own cars, or they are driving, or they are using Uber if you don't drive, or using buses. This is places whereby there's buses, like in Texas, we cannot rely mostly on buses, because they don't go in every place, and they have their own destination places whereby they can go through. So it's not in every place. So there are some places you can try to access, but because the buses cannot reach there, so you'll have maybe to commute using the Uber and the buses, or maybe you walk and also you take buses. So it's not an easy thing. So mostly you need to have a driving license. So the best thing you need to do, once you get your papers, go get your ensure you have your account, that is your bank account. Now getting the bank account, there are some documents, the documents that they need. And for instance, you need because this is not something that I was trying to tell you everything, but you have to get your bank account. Once you get your bank account, the next thing you'll need to do is that now you are set, you have your bank account, and for you to get your bank account, you need your driving license or your green card, and also your social security number, and also you need the address. You need the address of your host, or the address of where you're living. So that is another thing that you need. Once you get the addresses from your host, and you get your green card, and you have your social security number, then you can go to the bank and also set a bank account. And mostly there's also depositing something in the bank account once you're setting up your bank account. So once you go there, you need to have your minimum deposit, that is around $25, depending on the bank you're going to open. So minimum is like $25. That is a deposit, so that's because you cannot just open a bank account and leave it empty. So you've set your bank account. Now the next thing you need to do is supposed to apply for the DL. So you go for the DL driving test, that is driving test. And also you're supposed, before you go for driving test, you need to do the theory. So the theory, you can do it online. You can do it via the website. You can do it online through the computer. And after doing through the computer, sometimes you can be able to use things like DMV, do through the computer and get tested, and then go there to get the driving permit, And then after getting the driving permit, now you can be able to apply for the DL, that is the driving test. Now practice, like the physical practice for driving test. That is the what you can do. But you can also go to apply through DPS, where they'll give you a time to schedule. They'll give you time, and then after applying and they give you time, so you'll choose a place where you'll go to do your driving license. After you go and get your driving test, that is the driving permit, they'll give you a test that is online, that is on the computer. After you pass, they'll give you that what we call the learner's permit. And after you get the learner's permit, now you can come with your learner's permit, have the behind the wheel test with maybe with your host, or with your driving school, or whatever you can get. And then after that, now you'll schedule another one to go now and do the behind the wheel test with the police, whereby they'll have to take you through the process and drive and see how you drive, how you balance everything, if you follow the rules and everything. Then after that, they'll give you the driving license. So far so good. You have your driving license and you have your bank account. So it's not necessarily that you have all of them together at once, but the most important thing you need to do, you need to have your bank account, because without a bank account you cannot go to get employment, because where will they be sending your money to? So you see, that's why you need a bank account. But for the driving license, I say it's important because mostly you'll also need to drive, or maybe you might be given a truck from the company that you are working. You'll be given a car. So if you are given a car, you can, at least they need to see if you can be able to drive. And if you don't have a driving license, then you cannot be assigned to drive that car. So that's why I'm saying, or I'm insisting on getting a driving license. But it's not necessarily that you have to align them at the same time. So you can first of all get the bank account. After getting the bank account, the next thing, start applying jobs. So this is where it goes tricky, because jobs here in America mostly are applied online. I know people are wondering how things are applied online, and there are websites like Indeed. This is where you go and do application for jobs, and they also things like LinkedIn. These are the places whereby also you can apply the jobs, and also you can go to the website of different companies like Walmart. You can go to walmart.com, you can go to sprouts.com, you can go to all these things that are every places that you want to apply jobs. They have their own website. You can go to their website and go to where they are writing careers and see the kind of careers they have, then apply. That's where you need to write your own CV. And here in America, we don't call them CV. This is a curriculum vitae. That is mostly in Africa, like where I come from, Kenya. We used to call them CV. We used to call the curriculum vitae. So when you come here in America, they call them differently, and they call him resume. So a resume is whereby it's the same, it's a CV, but they call it a resume. So this, you need to know how to write a resume. Then you need to write all the credentials that you have. Make sure that your resume is appealing, and make sure that everything is fine. So when you write your resume, now you start applying jobs using your resume. After now you apply the jobs using your resume, now you'll be getting contacts. Maybe you'll be getting like messages, or maybe notifications that maybe you've been selected, or maybe the job has gone, they have gotten somebody. They'll give you the notification. So if you get selected, they'll schedule you, they'll call you or text you or email you and tell you this is the date of your interview, or which is the best date for you to get the interview. Then you'll say which is the best date for you to get the interview. So for instance, let's say you go to the first one, you don't get it, then you go to the second interview and you get the job. So when you get the job, you'll see that before the time of getting the job, towards the time where you came in, you'll find that it can take you 1 to 2 months or 1 to 3 months before you even get the job, because you came the first month, you are waiting for the papers. The paper entered the first, maybe at the beginning of the second month. Then from there, you are writing the resume and also applying, and also applying for registering for the bank account and stuff. Now after doing that, you've been now writing resume and sending applications of jobs. Now they have taken like 3 weeks to review your job applications, and then they have set the date, and then you've gone. So it maybe in the third month, that's when now you're going for the interview, and that's when you're getting the job. So it can take you from 0 to 3 months for you to get a job. And after you get a job, now remember, you're also living in your host, so you also now start going to work. Maybe your host will be sometimes helping you to go to work, and sometimes you need to you need to you don't know the streets and everything. Maybe they guide you, maybe take Uber, this how you do with it, maybe take the bus, or doing this and this. So before now you get settled from the time you get a job, it can take you like 6 months for you to be settled. When I say settled, I mean now you can be able to do everything by yourself, without depending on anybody now, without depending on your host, you can now be able to help yourself out, you know. Before now, that's the time also you need to schedule for your maybe if you're not gotten your DL, you need to get your DL. So people wonder how will you take that long to settle and everything. Remember, when you're coming to America, you don't come with your TV, you don't come with your car, you don't come with your bed, you don't come with your house. You just come with you, yourself, and you know. And you have to start a life, because also here in America, you have to have a house, you have to have an apartment, you have to have everything that is inside the apartment. You have also to pay rent when you come here in America. It's, you know, as I told you, people used to think that when you come to America, they give you a house, they give you a car, and even some maybe thought that you get given a wife or a husband. No, it doesn't happen like that. So you have to start from the ground, you have to start from the scratch. So when you come here in America, it doesn't matter who you are, you have to start from the scratch. And getting all these kind of things, even for you to be approved to have an apartment, there's also what they call the screening of the credit card and stuff. So I'll let you know how you do all these things, because somebody also asked me about how you buy a car and everything. I'll let you know how you do all these things. But today we are talking about why it takes long for immigrants to come back home. So let's say this guy has taken 6 months for him to be stable. So in all those 6 months, they have been getting help from maybe the host and you know, here and there. So now you have settled. Now you have started living by your own. That's what I mean when I say settling. And now you've started living on your own. You start now paying your bills, because remember, when you are living with your host, maybe you are not paying anything, or maybe you are just helping maybe in buying groceries, and that's it. But now you have to start living by your own, where you have to do all the things by yourself. That is the rent, that is the water you're taking, that is about your groceries, and also you you have to pay for all the other things you use, the garbage, everything. And if you going to work, you're also paying for the Uber or the bus. So you see, you're doing all these things by your own. And maybe you've gotten just you have just one job, and this job you're also trying to it's not paying you that good, because you just started and just took whatever was present, you know. And when you balance everything, when you pay everything, you find out that, man, your money is almost over. You're left maybe like a very few dollars with you. So like everything else is gone. So you'll be like, man, this is now the real life, isn't it? So tell me, if somebody is getting, like, let's say let's do a quick example of somebody who has gotten a job, and the earning and the expenditure, and we see that this person now is stable. Like, so we have said, we can take from 0 to 6 months for this person to be stable, or to be starting to live by himself. So for instance, let's say this person has started living by himself, and this person is getting around $15 an hour for the job that this person is taking soon. Okay, let's say within a day he's supposed to work for 8 hours. That is the general labor hours that he's supposed to work. So he works for 8 hours, 8 hours times 5 days, because supposed to work for 40 hours within a week. So when you multiply all that for a month, this person will be getting at least $2,500. So I know somebody's like, wow, this is a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but also compared to the expenditure here in America, that is not a lot of money. So let's do the expenditure so that we can see what we are talking about. And that's why we see people are taking long before they come back home, because first of all, you have to make sure that your deals are dealing. If nothing is going on, like everything is not working, you cannot just come back to home and leave everything messed up here, because when you come back here, you're gonna go to the street. All right, so let me give you an example of this person is maybe renting a house, and the rent at the house, that because now he has come out of the host house, now he's living by himself. So you need to pay your rent, you need to pay your electricity, you need to pay for water, and also sewerages, you need to pay for all and everything. So this, let's say all this amount of money, plus even the grocery, let's assume this person will be using a minimum of $1,600. That a maximum of $1,600. That is the rent, electricity, and we put water inside, and we have put even groceries. And this is just a minimum. I'm being like $1,600 minimum of amount that this person will be using. So when you subtract from 1600 from the 2500, you'll find out that we have less than how much? What do we have? 16 minus 25 minus 1600. What do we get? 900, right? So this person is remaining with 900, and this person has been going to work. So this person doesn't have a car. He just came the other day. So this person, what is he using? Either bus or Uber. And let's say, for instance, this person is living in Texas, where you cannot use bus every time. So this person is using Uber and bus at the same time. So let's say for 1 month, minimum this person spends is 700. That is a minimum, because Uber is expensive here in America, and to and from one workplace to another workplace, if this person needs to go to groceries, he need to go use either a bus or a Uber, because you cannot walk like 3 miles or 5 miles or 2.5 miles. You cannot walk, go and come back, so you need to use these services. So let's say he spends 700. From the 900, what does he remain with? He remains with 200. And this person is also having a mobile phone, so he's having a mobile plan. And this mobile plan, let's say he's paying $80. So 200 minus $80, what do you remain with? You remain with 120. So this guy has 120 in his pocket. 120. Remember, sometimes you see you need to eat something, maybe at workplace, or maybe a drink you forgot to maybe cook and in the morning and everything. So let's say those simple expenses you've used like $70, you remain with $50. So tell me, if this person is working like this for 1 year, even if he saves these $50, how much will be $50 with 1 year? That will be around 50 times 10. That is 500 plus now the other 2 months. So you see, this person will be having like 600 as savings. This is just an example, I'm like, this person have like 600. So $600, and this person, you need this person to come back home. And just remember, this person has not bought even a shoe. He has not bought anything else. He has not even bought a tie. He has not even looked at anything outside and bought it. He's just like strict to the. So if you see, even if this person saves, you can find that in the amount of money, that the entire amount of money that this person can have, it will be like 200 in terms of saving, for this kind of a person. So let's say this person has like 200 savings, $200 as a saving 1 year, working in that mode. So tell me, by the time this person is saving a lot of money to come back at home, because even booking for an air ticket back at home, you need like $1,000. So for him just to save for the $1,000 for the air ticket, how long will that be? And let's say as time goes by, this person gets another job, that will get better of it for him. But also just remember, even if you get 2 jobs and everything, and there's also taxes that are being deducted in this amount of money, so you don't get that whole amount that we have just counted, because when you remove taxes and everything, the amount reduces. You get me? So the reason as to why you see people take long before they come home is because when you start living by your own self, there's a lot of expenses that you go through and you have to pay, and balancing all this is not easy. And that's why you see many people will stay like 5 years, even others will stay like 10 years before coming home, because they have to save everything. They have to make sure that everything is working. And even some people had debts when they are coming, like loans, a lot of loans. So you've been like trying to send something home to repay off the debts that you had back at home, and you have not even finished within maybe 1 year. Maybe you'll finish in the second year paying the loans. So you cannot try to go back home and people will be like, oh, amekuja kutoka America. Oh, this person have come from America, and you don't have anything to give. And people who you they will be coming like, this guy have my money, and at that time you don't have money and you've gone home. So that's why you see many people stay here, because you had some debts, you have to clear all those debts. And then when you're coming home, you cannot come empty-handed. You need to come with something. At least when you go to visit home, at least have a good shopping, and at least have a good amount of money, whereby maybe you can treat even your family and maybe do some things. Also even take yourself out, And also remember, when you come back home, you have a house back at America where you are paying rent. Even if you're there or you're not there, you'll be paying rent. If it's your mobile plan, you need to pay, even if you're not in America. Even for instance, if you have your electricity bill, you'll be paying it even if you're not in America. So even when you go back home, so even if you've gotten that PTO, for instance, maybe 2 weeks or 1 or 3 weeks, you have to know one thing: when you go back home, you need to be paying your bills, and everything should be paid to the letter. Like nothing should be staying like that without being paid. So that means that no matter if you're working or you're not working, you have to pay your bills, or else when you come here or you come back from maybe Africa or from your country, you'll find yourself you have been kicked out and you'll be living in the street. So you can imagine. And also remember, you had to ask for PTO from work, and also they need you to come back at work, and because they cannot give you like 2 months or something to go back home. So they give you like 3 weeks. So maybe let's say you say, let me go and stay there for 1 month. For that 1 month, just know, even if they're paying you, you have like a paid time off. That money that you're getting will be paying. You'll be paying with your maybe the bills and stuff. So trying to balance all this stuff and trying to make sure that everything is working for you is not an easy thing. That's why I'm telling you guys. That's why you see people take a long time before they come back at home, because there's a lot of stuff that is going on. So for instance, this person who moved from the host and now they are staying by their own, they have to buy households. Remember, they came without nothing. They're just starting there to live there. So luckily in America, there is what we call some few things are inside the house. For instance, if you rent maybe a basic house, you'll find that there is a gas cooker, what you call a gas cooker. Here they call it a stove. So you'll find there is that cooking stove, and then there will be a microwave, and there is a fridge in the house, and then if you some of them have the dry cleaners, that is, some of them, depending on the amount of money that you have or you're able to raise for your rent. So you might find out that the rent that you are, or the amount of rent that you are willing to pay does not support that house having wash and dry machine. So what happens is that you go to a house that doesn't have a wash and dry machine, but it has the gas cooker, which is what we call a stove, and then there's a fridge and also microwave. So that means you need to buy a bed, you need to buy maybe a seat, you need to buy your cooking wares, and also maybe things like carpet and everything else. So let's say you just start a simple life with a mattress. Maybe, for instance, you start with a mattress, and maybe you look for a couch, that is a seat, and you just start like that. So you see, you need to, and also you have to buy some kitchenware, because you need to be cooking, you need to be eating. So that's why I'm telling you guys, even before you do all this is a lot of money also, because buying all this stuff, these small things, they require you to have money. So you can see that trying to balance everything before you start even thinking about going back home, it's not something that is easy or something that you can play with. So that's why you see many people or many migrants take a long time before they come home, because some of them, especially if they came single, especially for single people, it's so tricky, so tough. Let me say this. For the married ones, it's a little bit easier, because if you're married and maybe you have kids, it's better for you, because if you come here together, you'll be working together and you'll be paying one house. So you can be having some amount of money that you can save, because as spouses, you have your income together. Then you can be deciding, let's be doing this and this and this. So you can find out that because you're a couple, you can save a lot. And then you can decide this year maybe or after 3 years you go home, then maybe after 2 years I go home. So the other person will be remaining to be catering for everything else, you see. So for you it's easier. But if you're a single person, everything lies on you. You have to pay all these bills, and you have also to save your money to go back home and everything, pay the loans if you had loans. So it's not easy. It's not easy being an immigrant in America, and that's why you see people take a long time to come home. You know, people usually think that because when you earn here in America, it's dollars, so they'll be like, you know, if you have $10, that's a lot of money here. No, just imagine that money is not being used back at home. It's being used here in America. So you're working with dollar and you're using dollar. You're spending dollar and earning dollar. So dollar versus dollar, that is the trickiest part about this life, you know. So that is just basically the reason behind the long stay. And especially if people are single, they can take a long time before they do that, because you need to know that you have a bit of saving that will cover all the expenditures when you are going, so that at least even if you'll be earning the amount of money that will be coming when you be getting the PTO, that money will help you when you come back. But for the time being, when that time that you are going for that month, you have to leave after you have paid everything. Like for instance, we are in March, right? For instance, if I'm planning to go home on April, I am supposed to make sure that I've saved a lot of money or enough money to pay all the bills for April. So I pay all the bills for April, then I travel. So that when I come back, the amount of money that I'll get from the check in April, that is for PTO and everything, I will use it now for May. You see, because I have not worked for April, but maybe I have the PTO, so it will cover me that. So you cannot do that. You cannot just go home and leave everything here, because when you come back, you're gonna go to the street. So guys, that is the reason as to why you see many people take a long time before they come back in Africa or come back home, wherever they are in their country from America. So don't throw stones at immigrants. Don't throw stones at people say, you know, they went, they stayed 10 years, they stayed 5 years, and they never came back or everything. Just understand situations are different, and don't put pressure on your relatives who are in America. Try to be loving, try to be caring, try to be understanding, and try to ask them, "Munaendeleaje? How are you guys? How is everything?" Yeah? Because people are going through pressure of life. There's a lot of pressure here in America also, and there's a lot of depression for people too. There's a lot of loneliness, especially for those people who are living as bachelor or single people. So try to be in their shoes and try to understand them. Try to talk to them, and also pray for them. You know, don't be so harsh with them. Don't be so harsh, because man, life is ups and down, you know. But we thank God, because at the end of it all, people usually find a way out. So, and also if they are single, pray that they find good husbands or good wives, so that they can be able to work as a unit, or as a, you know, as a team, you know, so that at least life will be easy, and so that you can see your people coming home and you know, visiting and doing a lot of projects and stuff. So understand them. And when you guys will be coming here, you'll also see that what I was telling you guys is true. So I know many people will throw stones at me today because I've I've given out these secrets, but for me, I told you guys, I'll be telling you the truth. I have no need to hide anything. That is the reality of the matter. And whoever wants to throw stones, just throw them. Just know that never throw stones when you have a glass house, because it might come back to you. So God bless you. God keep you. It's your boy Kaka Jonito USA. Keep all your questions coming. I'll be tackling them one by one. So all the things that you have asked, guys, I'll be replying via a video for everything, you know. Some of them are combining them together so that we can have to learn, and we can be able to get this information in you know, in a good way or in a good manner. So guys, it's your boy Kaka Jonito USA. I've done my best to explain, and if in case there's any more things that you've not understood, just ask or drop them at the comment section. I'll be here to answer you guys and let you know. So God bless you, God keep you, and pray. The results are due to come here on May. So cross your fingers that you get selected. And if you don't have papers, keep looking for those papers, you know, and then look for the papers. Make sure you have your birth certificate. Make sure you have your high school certificate. Make sure you have your police clearance certificate. Make sure you have your passport, you know. These are the documents that you'll need for the process, you know. So make sure you have them, and keep praying, even if we're having now the first process, which is the selection. And I know that God will do you good, and that you will become victors. Guys, people are still coming. People are still coming. Immigrants are still coming. I know a few people who I've been talking to, and they are coming. Some of them are already here in America. So I know these things are happening. It's not like we are talking about myths. I can talk from from an experience level that people are coming in America. I've been talking to a few people here and there, Facebook, Instagram, where and there, and people are coming in America. I know people are winning this thing. So this thing is not a myth. People are winning. So even you, wherever you are, even if you have been trying for many years and you've never been selected, just keep pushing. You never know your day. And when it comes to your day, man, you'll be so happy and you will be so eager to reach here in America. So that is life in America. I did not say anything to scare you away, but I told you to be so that you can put your mind in order, to have that mindset about whatever you're going to expect, because it's better to be prepared than to be here in America and then you find that things are not the way you thought, So I did not say that go and marry just because life is better for those people who are married, because you cannot just pick anybody. You cannot just pick any Tom, Dick, and Harry. You have to pick somebody who will align with their purpose. So don't just do anything for the sake of trying to make life better. Pray to your God that He may lead you even in selection of your spouse and everything, and so that life will be easy for you. So guys, God bless you. God keep you. It's your boy Kaka Jonito USA. From my side, I say adios. Bye until next time.